Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Tip. I am your host, well, one of your hosts, Mark Hubbard, the CEO for Next Showcase USA, and we have an exciting show lined up for you today. Let me turn on this other device, like I don't know when I'm supposed to be off. But we'll get away. We have an exciting show for you today. You know, here at Next Showcase USA, we like to give not just music tips, but everyday life information to help you succeed in life. Okay, you know, we all know that we're in a pandemic right now and a lot of things are going on, but you still can survive, you still can thrive, you still can make it. All right. So, what we're going to do, we're going to bring in our team. Right quick, we have our COO, Brother Reg, I believe he's on, and also we have our other host, Lady D, our tech support. So, what's up, everybody? How y'all feel today?
Hello, feeling fine.
Feeling fine? So,
Doing well.
awesome. We got a great show lined up today, guys. You know, I'm super excited about this show. Let's see, everybody. Y'all look all vibrant and just smile. Okay, so this is that show. All right, so this is the serious show, guys. So we're gonna keep it serious, all right? Because they gave me this whole serious face. But anyway, like I said, let's jump right into the show. We got some great information on today. So we want to bring to you today our special guest. He is, I don't know why people just can't have like simple titles, so I'm gonna just try to read this anyway. But he is the financial literacy advocate. Did I get that right? I think I got it. Did I nail it? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hey, before I do that,
Yeah.
lady,
Okay. So, with the skills that he learned to change his circumstances, financial literacy advocate Rodney Terry decided to empower others to achieve their best, highest, and most authentic version of themselves. Creating an online self development training platform, Rodney is able to share creative and practical ways to redevelop the way that we think about our relationships, wealth, and purpose. Rodney has seen the transformation in the lives of those who've had the opportunity to be coached from a host of his strategic sessions, mentorship programs, webinars, and interviews. Rodney believes that he is not here to fix lives, but to just merely get the journey started. His favorite quote and life mantra is by Dr. Seuss that says, "To the world, you may be only one person, but to one person, you may be the world." Welcome, financial literacy advocate Rodney Terry.
Whew. Hey,
what's
how's
up,
it going,
Rodney?
everyone? What is going on?
How you feel today?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here with the next showcase.
Listen, I mean that's why I was like, listen, we ain't getting good. We was from the royalty, boy. Advocate, just the advocate, boy. Just
Oh my
take people's
goodness.
titles simple no more. We just gotta have them long titles.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I try to shy away from financial guru and just like, yo, if I can advocate financial literacy all day long for the rest of my life, I will do that. So,
one thing I know about you, this is something that you are extremely passionate about.
yes,
So listen,
extremely passionate.
as I said earlier before you came on, what we are about here at Next Showcase USA is about empowering our people with everyday life tools to making sure that they can make it in life. And so when I looked at it, I said, you know what, I want to talk about finances and how to build and how to just empower people and more. I said, well, listen, why not get the financial man himself?
Yes,
Right, Terry.
yes,
So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna sit back and let you take it over and do your thing. We'll be right here with you.
absolutely. Well, first, let me just say again, thank you, Next Showcase, again, for featuring Tip Tuesdays, especially talking about money. Money is huge. Money is emotional. Money is the reason that we get up and work 40 plus hours a week. Money is the reason that we get our degree so that we can make more of it. So for those who said money don't matter, I wonder what you say at the end of the month when the lights are off. So they did my bio, a little bit about me. I am from the west side of Chicago. I love the city of Chicago. I have a famous saying, I will always travel, but that ticket home will say O'Hare or Midway. And obviously, I love helping people get their mindset together first, their money together next, so that they can focus in on their mission. The mission I always equate to your purpose. Obviously, there's not much we can do broke. so, so we want to make sure that our financial health is definitely in place and that we're doing the things that we need to do. And let me tell you something. One thing I've learned is that money is super, super simple. There was this one quote that said, money is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics, meaning what you do and how you do it. So I've come up with this strategy that I usually use with most of my clients, and I usually share in free trainings. Just to give the background of how I got to this point where financial literacy became a major thing for me. I had a 10-year pharmacy career, and I was listening to Steve Harvey, and he did this whole post about jump. And I was like, okay, I'm about to jump into what I want to do next. And I was talking to one of my mentors. I always have at least 2 to 3 mentors consistently throughout my life. I said, yo, I want to move, and I want to leave pharmacy, working this good Northwestern job, okay, downtown, best benefits, great 401k match, everything. I said, I would like to move there and say, okay, let me see what is next for me. My mentor said, he says, follow your passion, money will follow you, follow money, and misery will be your portion. So if you guys are taking notes, write that down. Follow your passion, and money will follow you. And if you follow money, misery will be your portion. From there, I was just like, okay, so I know I'm not passionate about pharmacy. I had gotten into a program through my high school, Pathway to Pharmacy. Shout out to CPS. That's one of the great things that came out of Chicago Public Schools. I did the program, had been licensed as a pharm tech since my junior year of high school going into my senior year. It opened up so many opportunities for me, and I was on a path to go to pharmacy school. I said, I didn't really love it like that. And so he told me, follow your passion, money will follow you, follow money, misery will be your portion. So I began to evaluate and figure out, okay, what is it that I do here? And so I was a little, I jumped the gun. I just was like, okay, I saved up a little money. I quit. I left my full-time job, quit to do what I was going to do next, which was real estate. I did finish my real estate training. I did get my license and everything before I left, but I just figured, I believed in myself enough that when I get out here, it's going to be easy. Well, I learned quick that I should have planned before I left. And so it put me in a space where I literally typed in the bar how to get out of debt and how to get financially free. And so I did this training through the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University. A lot of people know that. I actually ended up not only finishing that course, but teaching it twice. I was the largest African-American education instructor for an FPU in the United States that they invited me. So that was pretty cool. We had one of the biggest classes both times. So I teach this. I love it. I had a contract. I'm one of the vendors with Rush University. So I have contracts with high school students as well. I go in and I teach financial literacy at high school students. So everything that I do evolves around it. Even when I do real estate, navigating my clients through where you have to be right now in order for you to be financially stable. So I have 4 simple rules when it comes down to money. And they'll also go into the tips that I'll share with you guys. Number 1, make the money. Number 2, save the money. Number 3, invest the money. And number 4, live on the interest of those investments. The reason that I structure it these 4 ways is because practically that's all it is. There's only 3 types of people. the person who's living more month than they have money, the people who live in paycheck to paycheck, or the person who have more money than they thought they did. And so when you make the money, you'll be able to say, okay, this is how much money I made. These are my expenses. Either I'm here, or I'm here. So the moment that you write down all of, okay, these are my expenses, this is how much I come in, you already have identified the problem. So I hear people all the say, Rodney, I should be investing, I should be all this other stuff. I'm just like, is your bills paid? Do you have an emergency fund before you get into investment, which I think is important? Obviously, the sooner you get in, the more compound interest you get over time. Then, of course, you can retire with a big savings and a big retirement fund. However, and I try to get people to think of the mindset, well, regardless if I started later and invested later with more money, by the time I get to where I'm ready to retire, I'll have less debt. So it'll still it'll still balance itself out. So make the money. I don't care how you make the money. Even though I'm a licensed realtor, I still do consulting for my business and millennial strategies at rodneyterry.com. I still drive Uber. I'm one of the top 20 drivers in Chicago. I've done it for 4 years. I know between Uber and Lyft, I've done over 10,000 trips. So I get the money however I need to get the money. So as long as it's noble and I'm respectful. But there's so many creative ways on how to do it. I have friends who have started car wash businesses. I have a person who did my entire website. I got a person who does my photography. I have people who will look over my bios or who will look over anything that I have that's literature and will do some editing for me, and I pay them to do that stuff. So it's so many different ways that you can be able to make the money, rule number one, and then save the money, rule number two. So I know a lot of people say oftentimes too, like, yo, Rodney, I love this whole entrepreneurship thing. I want to jump off and I want to get into entrepreneurship. I'm like, how much money do you have saved? They was like, well, I got like a couple of $100, but I don't even know how much money I need to have saved. I tell them, yo, 6 months saved. If you want to leave your full-time job to your full-time entrepreneurship, if you start with your 40 hours a week doing your full-time job, do your side hustle on the side, you stack in your capital. Now you take that capital, let it save you for 6 months. The moment you hit 6 months, as Jay Morrison taught me, you put your head to the back of the wall and you submit your letter of resignation. Why? Because if at month 7 you have 6 months saved, you decide to quit your job and you've been working your business enough to get you to that point where you had the money saved. Now you make the transition over to full-time entrepreneurship. You translate those 40 hours that you was doing at work into your business. And trust me, if you're working 40 plus hours on your business, because remember, you did your 40 hours at work and you did your side hustle part-time. If you're working 40 hours plus on that business, there's no way in the world that you shouldn't be generating, if not the same that you was making at work for some, but even more in that 3rd month, and you still got 3 months on reserves. So make the money, save the money, invest the money. The investment, I'm not just talking about stock markets and real estate, although I'm a huge advocate for real estate investing. I'm just now getting into stocks to earn because I learned from Warren Buffett that you don't want to invest in anything that you do not understand. I don't have FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out, because they said if you go start investing ignorantly like that, you're going to lose everything and hate whoever told you to get invested in it. So make the money, save the money, invest the money. It could be in when I had extra cash, right? I began to pour into my website. I began to redo my photography. I began to speak with a specialist to tell me how to navigate, how to set up my courses. I have coaching. I pay for coaching. I pay for real estate coaching. I pay for coaching. I've been it's been 8 years since I've been certified as a life coach. And so I still have a coach. I pay for therapy. I go to therapy. Like, I'm making sure that I'm constantly investing in myself so that whenever I'm trying to present something to somebody else from a space of not expertise, but a space of experience, I can say, yo, I know what I'm talking about. I've read books, I've done the training, and I keep myself at a seat of a student. I'm always learning so that I can be able to teach that which I've learned. So that is an investment. Educational wise, spiritually, investing in stocks and investing in real estate, investing back into your businesses. Make the money, save the money, invest the money, and live on the interest of the account. So what I mean by live on the interest of the accounts, at some point, if you set yourself up, you should be in a space where you are flowing in income, flowing, because even if, let's say that you don't want to start an extra business on the side, let's just say you invested so much in yourself that the managers at your job or the CEOs and higher ups start looking and like, man, there's something different about you. You come to work on time. You actually do your work when you're here. It's like, you know, like you got this enthusiastic personality. Like, I think you would be great here sitting at this table than down here. I think you mastered this. I want to train you up here so you can lead other people. And that's just how you continue to elevate. It's been my story. I don't even try to be like, oh, let me go out there and show them how great I am. I'm just like, yo, let me go out here and be my best. First, making money, investing that money in myself, and living on the interest of what that money is. So the last thing that I'll talk about, these last 3 tips, I think that I've given you some golden nuggets. But of course, you can always reach out to me at rodneyterry.com for consultation and things of that nature. But these 3 tips that are very applicable today, even without, if you never heard from me again, you already got the nuggets from here. But if you never heard from me again, you can take these tips. So number 1, take inventory. How much is my life costing me? If I can cover my rent, utilities, my cell phone bill, my car note, my car insurance, my groceries, and then next I can go down to, let's say, you know, student loans and loans of that nature, because I've covered my 4 walls and stuff like that, and it all comes out to $2,000. Well, if I make $2,500 a month, then okay, cool, I got $500 extra. If I'm making $1,800 a month, then I'm gonna say, okay, well, I have more month than I do have money, so I better start either negotiating something down, either interest rates or negotiating a bill being paid off, or even stopping. Sometimes you guys are over by $200 on subscriptions and memberships that you're not even using. Like, that's your extra $200 right there. You don't even got to pick up any overtime. If anybody follows me on Instagram at Life with Rodney, you will see, because I've invited a lot of people on here. If you see how I did on Sunday, because it was a snowstorm here in Chicago, I made $500 in one day. I made $500 in one day because I finished this bonus that I wanted to make sure I took care of. I thought to myself, that was just in one day. $500 if you did it on a part-time basis, just doing Uber on a week, that's $2,000 extra a month. What is that? What could $2,000 extra could be used for? I don't know, investing, maybe covering your mortgage, maybe covering XYZ. And I'm just talking about Uber because that's what I have my experience in. But it could be anything. If you do hair, if you cut hair, if you plowed all that snow that was out there. So take inventory, see how much your life costs, and then determine where you set where you are in it. After you've taken inventory, number 2 is to face the music. I literally have a picture. And I probably should have submitted it because that would be great to give you guys a display. But I have a picture of all of my bills laid out on the floor when I was overwhelmed. And I literally started calling each and every, it took me 2 hours. I was calling everybody. How much is my payoff? How far am I behind? Let's just get this done. Let's negotiate something so I can move forward. And they were so gracious. I was shocked. Like, I hated bill collectors when they used to call. Matter of fact, my mom taught me young. Tell them I ain't here. Tell them I ain't here. And so I faced the music and I sat there, and the moment, I don't know what it was, I guess just having control over where I was, it gave me a sense of peace. I didn't have any stress. I was excited to pay these bills now because I know what navigation. And then number 3, just do it. Just do it. Just consider how different life will be if you set that with your budget, if you were honest about where you are, cut some things out. I know people hate cutting things out, but there's this beautiful quote that Dave Ramsey says, live like no one else right now so you can live like no one else for the rest of your life. It's temporary. If you sacrifice 2 years, maybe a year and a half, maybe even just a year, sacrifice that time to really hone in on getting a handle on your budget and your finances to make a difference of the world just in your life, like later on. Like, I think that that's worth it. It's almost like planning for your funeral. I know it's a morbid conversation, but I worked in the ED, so I'm used to this. It's like, you mean to tell me you can't take just one hard day out of your entire life just to plan so your family can mourn you stress-free? Just one day, just to set up your funeral plans and be done with it. You ain't never got to look at it again, but people know exactly what it is that you want. Set up an estate plan, like set up insurance. Make sure just one day to plan all that out. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So I feel the same thing about your finances. If you just take the moment to sit and plan and then be revisited, you won't take 2 hours like how I had with all of those bills. You won't do it. So it'll be quicker. It'll be sooner. I feel like that's as practical money will ever be. I mean, I feel like I don't have any secret magic. The reality is that I've spoken to multimillionaires. I have multimillionaires who are my mentors, and they all have agreed that money is simple. 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. And with the tools that I've already given you so far, you can individually go on your own and begin to do them. So as Reggie and Mark comes back on, I just want to make sure, if you guys have any questions, I think they're going to be taking Q&A in a moment. I'm very excited to answer and happy to answer whatever questions you may have. Just check. Yeah, just if you want to stay connected with me, RodneyTerry.com, Instagram at Life with Rodney, Twitter at Life with Rodney. But if you go to my website, everything Rodney Terry is there, RodneyTerry.com.
All right. Wow. Man,
I know that was loaded, but
Dude, that was awesome for real. That was awesome. Got my head hurting. I'm like, man, I don't even know where to start off with the question. But so what I'll do is, like I always do, I automatically just bow gracefully, and so I just turn over to Lady D and Reg to see if they have any questions. But let me just say, man, these tips right here were amazing.
Awesome.
Seriously, and we got a lot of comments just on offline, just people being inspired by your comments and things like this. So hey guys, I mean, what do you guys think? Got any questions?
I mean, it was straight to the point.
I mean, it was straight to the point and very informative. Someone said it was practical, very practical tips that everybody can follow. Make the money, save the money, invest the money, and live on the interest
That's it.
that comes from the investment. That's
Absolutely.
Can't get more simple than that.
Absolutely.
you can't get any more simple than that. And I like that 80-20, 80 psychology, 20 mechanics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it takes a minute to realize, hey, I can't spend more than I'm making.
Absolutely.
So when I'm in the store and I see these shoes and I know, nah, I can't buy them. I
Yeah.
just need to leave them.
Yeah.
So it is. It's a psychology. It's psychology. We
Let me
got to
tell you
think about
something. Let me say something, Reggie. I went from working retail pharmacy, making about $19,000 a year. I got in Northwestern because of all the overtime, because I was single. I didn't have any kids, still don't got any kids, although I'm married. I worked so much overtime. My first year was $51,000. Now, for most people, they would think, oh, okay, well, you went almost $30,000. I'm gonna say a little bit over $30,000 in a year's time. You should be good. About a year and a half that lasted, and then my lifestyle started coming up. I had went out to go purchase my first piece of property. I was only 23, and they was just like, oh no, they was like, you don't have any lines of credit. I went to BMW, they approved me on the spot. So now I got this $769 car note that I could quote unquote afford at the time because I ain't have any other bills. Then I get the car insurance bill because a young man driving the 5 Series, they gonna hit you with that. And then my my friends, if you've been in church, they give you the deep. They say I had an old iPhone. They said, oh no, this iPhone don't match your anointing.
Right.
So I had to update my iPhone. My friends didn't make as much as I did, so every time I invited them out to eat, because Oprah said this, money makes you more what you already are. If you're selfish, you become more selfish. If you're selfless, you become more selfless. So of course, just being me, I'll cover the bill, because that's how I am. I just have a love to give. So I'm paying now. It was terrible. I'm up here having lunch at the Lux Bar, as if I didn't add McDonald's last week. I'm just randomly spending, and before I knew it, I was working overtime to maintain my lifestyle, instead of incrementally increasing my lifestyle with my incremental income increase. And so it's psychologically. So now I think in terms of, I have a very humble condo in the suburbs, and I would love, my favorite place in Chicago is the South Loop. I would love to have that penthouse in the South Loop. I already checked it out. I see how much it costs, but I will not purchase it until I purchase me a multifamily that pays for that penthouse that I'm staying down in. Mindset, just different. I have a pretty decent car. Shout out to Toyota. Okay, they make very reliable cars, and I would like a Range Rover, but I just found out, being on another panel with a tax person, that I can wait and put that through the business later on if I want to do a Range Rover. Mindset. So I'm now not about to go out and get that $1,900 car note, because I already asked him how much it costs. I'm not getting out that $1,900 car note until I have a business income that's going to be designated just for that. One guy was telling me he made $250,000 within the last year, just selling gym equipment. And he said, and that pays for his Airbnbs. That pays for his lifestyle. It's like, what are we doing? So again, I love what you said. It is absolutely 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. It's not a bunch of, well, how to do this, how to do that. That part is simple. 80% is a mindset part. So,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think we've all experienced that, where we begin to live beyond our means, being pushed to live beyond our means because of society.
Absolutely.
And wanting to fit in. If it gets you from point A to point B,
yes,
it's drivable. Go with it.
Yep. Yep.
Did you just say that you made $500 just doing Uber this week and don't do it through the snow?
Literally, you can catch my Instagram story. I did $500 in one day. Of course, I had the $99 bonus for so many, but because it was surging, obviously drivers didn't want to be out because of 3 things. Number 1, COVID. Number 2, the storm. And number 3, unfortunately, y'all hijacking us. Hijacking us, but I was one of the brave ones to still get out there and drive and make sure. Because here's the reality. Out of 10,000, now again, we talking about earlier when I said investing in yourself, mindset, right? Out of the 10,000 trips, I look at it like this. I said 10,000 trips. Some trips are 2 and 3 people in a car. I had close contact and conversations with over 10,000 strangers in my personal space. the things that I have learned, I picked up the COO from Chase from his jet in doing Uber. I have learned, I picked up a woman who her guy comes to my car asking me, who is this dude? Because she's trying to get away from him, abusive, stuffing the kids' clothes in my trunk. And we go to 3 hotels to try to find her a place to stay that night. So when we talk about purpose and we talk about how you're going to give back and how you invest in yourself so that it can train, that stuff is training me for something more. But it's the heart that I have to want to serve. And the more people you serve your gift to, the more money you make. And the more money you make, the more money you invest. The more money you invest, the more money you can live off the interest. But that was a long answer to yes, $500 in a day.
that was a great answer because again, it's all about purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, eventually we can do a whole show, like a whole 2-hour show with you for real. Because I mean, the information that the knowledge that is given here right on today is helping people. Because again, people need to understand. I need to know how. So I'm gonna go here now. How to thrive now in this pandemic. So how do we do that now during this pandemic where every dime that the average person get, they say, I would love to save, but honestly, I just can't because either I'm unemployment or I see you ready. I see you ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
So
I got one phrase.
Talk to us.
Lose your pride. Lose your pride. Here's why. All right. I have done over $2 million in sales. I'm on flip number 3. You know, I've got all this experience on how much I made. When March hit, when they didn't know if you can go into houses or not, my clients ceased to go and do any showings. Uber, where I averaged $20 to $22 an hour, went down to $11 an hour because nobody was doing Uber. I literally stopped. I'm talking about many people know me from different little platforms or whatever. I stopped everything. I put my clients on pause. I put my consulting on pause because the schools weren't open, so I couldn't go back and train students. Called all of my bill people and put those on pause. I lost my pride and picked up overnights at Amazon, 3 nights a week. I said to Toyota, I drive a Lexus. I parked that Lexus way down at the end of the thing because I didn't want nobody hitting it. And I walked because people used to ask me, you need to ride home? Nope, I'm walking to my car. I'm walking all the way back to the door, and I'm telling it was ridiculous. I made so much money with Amazon because I lost my pride. I was doing 3 nights overnight. We couldn't go anywhere. I lost my pride, so I got a job that was unusual. I'll tell you how unusual it was. I was in there in the 3 months that I worked there. By a month and a half, they were asking like, Rodney, we want to train you on this. I have been trained on 4 departments, and you know what the manager told me? He said, you don't belong here. I was like, yo, I'm up here making money like everybody else. I belong up here because I need the money. I'm telling you why. The moment I knew that what was working for me in the past, and I learned this from the book Who Moved My Cheese, for those who wanted the book reference.
I like that book.
Yeah, I love it. At the end of the day, I had learned that, this is no longer working right now, and it may pick up later on. So I did 2 things. I still did a little Uber. I did Amazon overnight 3 nights a week. I ended up going up to 5 nights a week, which is why I had to quit after the 3rd month because I had overdid it. But they gave you hazardous pay. They was paying double time instead of time and a half. Amazon is great. Shout out to Amazon. I want to shout out to them because they were great, honestly. I applied 1 week, was starting the next week. Benefits everything. Anyway, Amazon did those about 4 or 5 nights a week. And then I started thinking, okay, what's essential business? So when I did do Uber, I knew shift changes, usually 7 to 7. So I was at every shift change at the hospitals. Nurses were thanking me because they said that every time that the Uber person saw that they was coming from the hospital, they canceled. They didn't want to be around that COVID. So that grocery stores, I was at the grocery stores helping people load the truck up with groceries. Just to make extra money. I had left everything that I had known and everybody had known me for. I lost that pride and I did what I had to do to make my money. So I do understand it is very hard and I know everybody's situation is very different. So this is a blanket statement. But if you can find a creative way, if you say that, okay, because I get this a lot. I shout out to my single moms. I was raised by a single mom, my grandma. Shout out to my grandma. I got these many kids. I'm barely holding on with my regular 9 to 5. Okay, so then if you can figure out a way to either figure out what assistants that are out there, When I found out how many people was making unemployment, I was just like, I didn't apply for it because I thought it would be unfair because I was able to work and I was making money, so I didn't apply for it. But the food stamps that became available, outside of that, people who were taking in and watching other people, essential workers' kids as a daycare, just to watch kids to make some extra money. Like, you have to be creative, but you have to also lose your pride. I promise you. You have enough family members. I know some people be like, well, ain't nobody gonna watch my kids because no, you didn't even ask them to watch your kids while you go pick up a second something. Like, come on, let's be honest now. Thank God that my clients are straight up and they know how I roll. I'm always empathetic, but again, I saw my grandmother, who's still alive today and still go to work today, although she retired, she still pick up hours as a nurse. I watched my grandma just go through shit. And she said, we'll eat bologna and burp like we had steak. that was Proverbs of grandma. And she's still going out, and I can't let my grandma outwork me. That's the truth. You talk about lose pride aside. That's the only pride I got. My grandma is not about to outwork me. Seriously.
Well, I mean, that's amazing. That's great. You know, again, because again, like you said, everybody's situation is different.
Absolutely.
You know, so there are a lot of people who unfortunately may have applied for Amazon that couldn't get to Amazon. Everybody's situation is different, and so, but it's always a way still. Even a way still to maintain, and if you don't do nothing but set $1 or $2 aside, just start stacking that $1 or $2 from that unemployment check, because a lot of people are getting it, you know, because there are a lot of artists. I know. He's just he really preacher's kid. You've been around a lot of preachers, because every time I say something, it's like you're sparking. No, I got a revelation. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, when you said about even pinching dollars, I'm talking about being as practical as possible. If you have a little car at home and you know you're working from home, Turo.com, it's like Airbnb for cars. You can rent your car out. Hire a car, you can rent your car out to other Uber people. If they get in a car crash, you know, they got insurance up to $1 million, so they'll replace the whole car. You know, I did the Uber rental program. You can rent your cars out. You can, again, I'm thinking about just simple services. Fiverr.com.
It's all about those two at the bottom. Their eyes are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My car will go check tomorrow.
Absolutely. Fiverr at Fiverr.com. Fiverr is a freelance. You could do freelance work on Fiverr. They can just contract you for $5, $10 here just to answer phones, send emails. I'm telling you, it's so much, it's ridiculous.
What's that again?
It's Fiverr. Fiverr.com. It's like, it's the freelancing, just extra.
That's ready to type it down.
I'm telling you. I tell you, if nothing else, if we talk about make that money piece, and we had more time, I would have told you how to make some money now.
Well, we don't want to give too much away, because we want them to actually what this show is all about. It's called Tuesday Tips, because again, although we know that you are a hustler, we know that you're out there making money. A part of making money, guys, is to go out and support his business. So we want to make sure that everybody go out and support my brother Rodney Terry, and make sure you support him and his business. Get this information, get the consultation from him. From that point, hire him to make sure that you know you're in a financial state that you need to be or can be. And so we want to continue to support you and your business. If you guys can put up that flyer for me right quick, and as we did, there we go. So that's
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
We live, baby. We live.
We live, Saints. I'm glad that was a church folder. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Lord. Technology these days. Have mercy. Okay, come back. Let's digress. I felt my pastor spirit there. All right, let's connect. So again, make sure you guys take the information right there and connect with my brother Terry, Rodney Terry, and Lady D. If you can put up again his information, how to contact him.
Yes.
Right. All right. Take the picture down gracefully, though. Gracefully.
Beautiful transition.
Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Woo! Thank you, Lord. Well, that thing almost took me out of here.
Yes.
But anyway, and I'm still out. Come back. Somebody say something. Help me out, Saints. They don't have you back to church.
Yes, they will.
But again, Rodney, thank you so much, man, for coming in and sharing with us on tonight. again, like I told you earlier, we're going to actually dive into this a little deeper.
Yes.
And actually, we're going to actually be doing what we call an artist enrichment class. And part of our artist enrichment class, we're going to be talking about finance, fitness. So we got a fitness trainer coming in. We're going to have you come back in, and people are going to register and come in. You can have your own one-on-one class and just talk to them about building and how to maintain their finances. Again, man, we appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
This was amazing.
It's been my pleasure. I was like, look, y'all, you got to usually navigate me through these conversations, because when I go, I told everybody on Instagram, I'm coming with all the energy tonight.
Okay.
So I just want to bring up one other point that you made.
Yes.
You said follow your passion.
Yes.
And the money will follow you.
Yes, sir. Because the thing is, people aren't paying for your service. They paying for your passion. I passed 3 laundromats to go to the one because they were cleaning the walls yesterday. I was like, y'all cleaning walls? Like, people pay for passion. They don't necessarily pay for your service.
Mm-hmm.
If they know, forget about you could do hair if your attitude is nasty and your shop is nasty. I'm one who's passionate about it.
Mm-hmm. That is so true.
So
absolutely.
For real. Because right now, I mean, you got me want to take a 15-minute consultation with you.
Come on,
because of the simple fact is, and we playing around with it at church, because FYI, we go to the greatest church this side of heaven. Right? New life. That's the life in the house. So I just want you to kind of throw that out there right quick. But anyway, we just talked at church, and I was like, I'm playing around, but now that I've talked to you and listened to you, I might just go and take you up on that for real. But it's about somebody really speaking from the heart and having a passion for what they do, because when you have a passion for it, you invest everything into
Absolutely.
it. Everybody knows my passion is music. My passion is music, and I love to just educate the music community. So that's why we do this, because it's not just about being able to write a song, have the write bars, being able to perform. How you gonna live when you get through with that? When you make that $100,000, are you just going to just blow it away, or are you going to invest it? So, and a lot of people, artists, they make all this money, but they broke in 2 weeks because they have not learned how to be wise and students with their money. So this is the reason why we do this. We want to have our artists to have all the tools of life, and we have a real vast audience all the way around. So again, thank you, man, for being a part.
Absolutely.
And sharing tonight. And so again, thank you guys for tuning in to Tip Tuesday, and we'll be back again on the next Tip Tuesday. When that day will be, you'll find out. All right, everybody, good night and have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.